Good afternoon students, welcome to class 11 biology class. As we are discussing the circulatory system, the heart structures I have discussed, the external internal structures I have already told. Shortly I have discussed heart structures. Here the important thing is the cardiac cycles. Cardiac cycle is most important in this topic. The cardiac cycle. The cardiac cycle, what is the cardiac cycles? Cardiac cycles actually a sequence event which take place during the completion of a one heartbeat. It is called the cardiac cycle. Actually the cardiac cycle is the events. The sequence events take place for completion of a one heartbeat. It is called cardiac cycle. If you have to discuss the cardiac cycle, then have to know properly the what event take place in the one heartbeat. Then easily we understand what is this, the cardiac cycles. This topic is very much easier. And first the cardiac cycle, during the cardiac cycle this following event take place. The first one is the auricular system. Auricular or the arterial system. What happened in the auricular system? The system means is a contraction and the diastole is a reduction. And the systoles during the arterioles or the auricular systoles, when the full of blood in the auricles, then after the flow of blood, this is the started to contraction. This is the contraction, it is called the systoles. The contraction of the auricles pump blood to the respective ventricles. And during the arterial systole, the bicuspid and tricuspid valve or the AV aperture remain open for the respective ventricles. Actually, the two valves, the bicuspid and tricuspid valve remain open, and the blood does not that again into the river. And on the auricular systoles, when the full of blood, actually the auricle in the blood contains the full of blood making and they started to contraction, it is called the auricular systoles. And second one in the auricular diastole. What happens in the auricular diastole? Auricular diastole. Auricular diastole means here, this is at the end of the arterial systole, the two arteries return to the diastoles and the started reduction. The auricular diastole means it is a reduction. And from the inferior vena cava and superior vena cava, the blood enter into the auricle. After the end, the left and the right auricles, and from the pulmonary vein, from the lungs, the blood enter to the auricle, the diastoles. And when the auricular systole started the contractions. And the ventricular systoles and the ventricular diastoles. The fourth and third one is the ventricular systoles. Ventricular systole. What happens in the ventricular systoles? The ventricular systoles also, when it is blood full of blood, it started the contractions. When it started contraction, the ventricular systoles, and then in that time, this is the pressure of the ventricles arises and the bicuspid and tricuspid valves are the shut and prevent the backflow. Actually, when the ventricular systole means contractions, the full of blood. Before the full of blood, actually the blood is coming from the auricles to the ventricles. Through these two valves is there. This is the bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve. The bicuspid valve, after the filling of the ventricles, the total valves remain closed. It suddenly and slow. It is the closed and started make one sound. This is called the fast heart sound, or it is the loop or the love. It is a fast heart sound. It is called the love or love loop. The first one is the fast heart sound, or it is called loop. and the ventricular diastoles or the joint diastole. It is called also the ventricular diastoles. At the end of the ventricular diastole means it is a relaxation, and there is for after that it is all the blood is coming to these ventricular diastoles. The heart chambers in this diastole is called the joint diastoles, and the closure of the semilunar valves, and is called, they make a laugh or they make a one sound. This is the doop. This is sound produces. This is the doop sound, the second heartbeat. That's why we can hear. If you use the stethoscope, you can hear the sound, the doop. Actually, this is the closure. Is the close the bicuspid and tricuspid valve. Also, it is close makes sound the semilunar valve. Okay, this makes a sound the semilunar valve or the pulmonary valve. If I draw the one diagram, you can understand that what time take to complete the one heartbeat or it complete the one cardiac cycle. Actually, it takes the 0.8 seconds. Okay, 0.8 seconds. The first here is the joint diastole, joint diastole, here this is the ventricular systole, and this one is the auricular or the arterial system. What time takes? Let's take the joint diastole 0.4 second, okay, and ventricular systoles 0.3 and the 0.1. Total 0.8 second, and completion the 1, okay, 1 heartbeat. The joint diastole, it takes the 0.4 second, the ventricular systoles take the 0.3 seconds, and arterial systoles taking the time 0.1 second. It complete the 0.8 seconds. Okay, I hope it is clear. This cardiac cycle, please properly follow the videos, and I will take also live class reasons. Okay.